What's up, everybody? My name's Chance, and today we're going to be taking a look at a Devourer of Memory deck. Now, since this card came out, I said I was interested in building a deck around it and seeing what all it was possible, or capable of, rather, not possible. And this is the best deck that I've been able to come up with thus far. I'm sure with some more refinement it could be, you know, a little bit better. But nonetheless, Devourer of Memory reads, whenever one or more cards are put into your graveyard from your library, Devourer of Memory gets +1/+1 until end of turn and can't be blocked. So I thought that was a pretty cool mechanic, and I figured there's two routes you could go with this. You could try and bolster up your Devourer of Memory, and then, you know, obviously use Surveil as a very easy method for discarding cards from your library to your graveyard, as well as getting some information, right? So that's one way that you could use this card. Or you could go for an efficiency thing where you're doing it each turn and trying to get in a little bit of damage here and there, and then go for a finisher such as maybe Lotleth Giant, right? Anyways, before we go and hop into this full deck tech or deck breakdown, I'd like to remind everybody, if you enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like down below and a comment in the comment section if you have any suggestions on this video, future videos, or past videos. Furthermore, if you're new here, consider subscribing. It is free and it's a great way to support the channel, as well as getting an update every single day whenever I drop a video or go live Tuesday through Thursdays. Generally. Sometimes, you know, life happens and all that good stuff. I am still only part-time, so y'all will have to understand that I do have a full-time job, or not full-time job, part-time job, and then this part-time job, and then also taking care of Eva and myself in the house and the dogs, and, you know, adult stuff. Anyways, enough about life. Let's get on into this deck tech or deck breakdown. So, kicking us off, we have 3 copies of Mire Triton, and this is going to help you proc the Devourer of Memory, as well as give you a Death Touch creature and gain a little bit of life up against those aggro matchups. 2 copies of Dimir Spotbug, as this is another very, very evasive creature. Not only does it have flying, but it has menace as well, which makes it very hard to hit. And then since you have so much Surveil throughout your deck, it gets bolstered fairly easily. Moving us down, we have 3 copies of Discovery Dispersal and 3 copies of Thought Erasure. Both of these allow us to Surveil, if we so choose to, with Discovery Dispersal, which allows us to put cards into our graveyard from our library and bolster the Devourer of Memory and allow it to be unblockable. Thought Erasure also allows us to destroy our opponent's hand and get great information. Moving us down, we have 2 copies of Gorging Vulture, which is going to allow us to mill some cards from ourselves, as well as gain some life, and if we mill any creatures, that's when we're going to gain those lives. But it also procs Devourer Memory. I think you're sensing a theme here. 2 copies of Murderous Rider for some removal, 2 copies of Pharika's Libation? I'm really testing this card out because so many people are playing so many enchantment decks that I want to see if this card is actually worth it. So it may or may not be. If it's not, then just cut 2 of these and throw in 2 copies of Murderous Rider, and there you have it. Moving us down, we have 2 copies of Disinformation Campaign. Again, we're playing a lot of Surveil, so this sort of fits right nice into the deck. 3 copies of Ritual of Soot, because we don't mind so much clearing our creatures off the board since we have things such as Connive, Concoct, and Cauldron's Gift to bring them back, as well as Syr Konrad, which deals a little bit of damage if we do remove cards from the battlefield. So, all that being said and out of the way, we're down to Artemis Oracle of Half-Truce, which again procs Devourer Memory, draws you some cards, is a 3/2 with menace, so it has a little bit of evasion itself, just a solid card. Connive Concoct is going to allow us to either gain control of target creature with power 2 or less, or Surveil 3, which is going to proc the Devourer Memory, I'm sure, and then return target creature card from our graveyard to the battlefield. Cauldron's Gift, kind of a similar effect. If we pay the adamant for this, at least 3 black mana, we're going to put the top 4 cards of our library into your graveyard. You guessed it, it's going to proc our Devourer Memory, and then we're going to be able to return target creature card from our graveyard to the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Syr Konrad is going to help us whittle our opponent down as we are discarding all these cards and creatures and having creatures be removed from the board on either side. And then last but not least, Lotleth Giant is going to be brought back with Cauldron's Gift or Connive Concoct and deal a large sum of damage based on how many creatures you've already milled yourself away. Or you can just always play it from your hand. Gonna deal a lot of damage. It's a big 6/5. It's you know, gonna be a little bit harder for your opponent to deal with, and ideally will end the game when it enters the battlefield. But if not, again, it's a 6/5 with the sizable body to it. So all that being said and out of the way, we're gonna go and hop right into our matches. Horizon's gonna be our first vote for the day. 2 Devourer of Memories, a Thought Erasure, and Artist in hand. Or Atris, I'm sorry. I keep calling it Artist. I just think the name fits better, but I guess it's an Atris. Oracle of Half-Truths. Sure, I'll keep the hand. We're a little bit mana deficient, but maybe we can get there. Playing both Devourer of Memories and getting a Thought Erasure off, though, is always nice, so... 2 Ritual of Soots. Not really where you want to be. Generally, 1 will do the trick, but I guess we'll see. Why are you hovering over my Devourer of Memory so hard? Don't worry about what it does, bro. Just let it be, and it'll happen, okay? Alright, throw down another Devourer of Memory. Next turn, we'll get our Thought Erasure going. Syr Konrad would be nice, but again, we're going to need more mana. We do have 24 lands in the deck, so it's not like we're skimping out. Playing more potentially wouldn't be bad, going up to 25 or 26. Banishing Light on one of the Devourer of Memories. If only we could have drawn a land at some point, we could make them sacrifice the Banishing Light and get back our Devourer of Memory. But since that's not an option, we'll just Thought Erasure them, see what they have in hand. Archon, that's a pretty good card. 2 Archons, well, those are both really good cards. We need to at least get rid of 1 here. Ritual of Soot isn't going to be able to hit them, so we'll need to hit our... Ooh, there's some land. We'll definitely want that. We'll need to hit our Murderous Riders, right? Banishing Light on our other Devourer of Memory. That's fine. This land is going to allow us to get one of those Devourer of Memories back, so that's good. Although I suppose I could just save the Pharika's Libation. Yeah, I probably should have, in case they got a land and played their other Archon, right? That's more valuable to me than getting back a Devourer of Memory. I messed up there. This is why you save your instants for instant speed and not sorcery speed. Alright, well. We'll continue nonetheless. Disinformation Campaign will come down, draw us another card. Another land, that is excellent for us, because we were kind of getting behind there, but... Gonna be getting in some decent damage to our opponent. Again, Ritual of Soot does not hit their Archon of Sun's Grace. Now, fortunately, they haven't been fortunate enough to hit a land so far either. This card does not have 2 power, and we don't have anything in our graveyard currently. We could Surveil 3 and hope to hit something, but I think it's smarter here to go with the Atris. Again, I keep wanting to call it Artemis, but Atris. Now, they don't know we have the Concoct in hand. They don't know we have Syr Konrad. They don't really know what our deck's based around except for Devourer of Memory. So, having the element of surprise here with their decision making does help us. Let's see. You need to throw these 2 away. Throw that away. If I get these 2, why would they give me those 2 though? How much mana am I at? I'm at 4. They probably don't want me to have this because it's probably a Murderous Rider, so they gave me 2 things that I would want, but things that can't really deal with their, what's it called? I'm going to throw those cards away. We got a Swamp. Well, it's fortunate and unfortunate. This does mean we can get our Syr Konrad, but... And we can use Concoct. So that's not bad, because we can get back Gorging Vulture or Dimir Spybug, right? Oh, tell me they haven't hit a land yet. That's terrible. Oh, that's so terrible. Alright, well, we can go ahead and play a Syr Konrad, I suppose. I think this does allow for the most damage, and if we can hit a Lotleth Giant at some point in the future, it is GG at this point. It'll deal 2, we have enough creatures down, as long as they don't massive board wipe us. That's going to go on the Syr Konrad for sure, yeah. That's okay. This is actually GG, because we just concoct. And we don't, it doesn't matter, we just send cards to our graveyard. All those are lands, so we're just going to send all of them. But this gives an additional +1/+1 to the Devourer of Memory, which does give us lethal, so fantastic. And that's going to be game 1 picked up with our Dimir Devourer of Memory deck. Now granted, our opponent got completely land screwed there. They drew 3 all game. That is very, very rough. But hey, we had Surveil, so we kind of had a better chance at making sure we didn't get screwed in our favor. Anyways, on into a game 2. Pishit? I don't know. To be completely honest, I don't know what our opponent's name is. I'm gonna mulligan this. This isn't very strong early. Yeah, well, we'll put one of the Ritual of Soots back. At least here we have a Mire Triton, we have a Thought Erasure. We can go Temple of Deceit here, I think. I think that's fine. An island? Yeah, okay. That's fun. I was hoping to see a land there. This way we can ensure that our Fabled Passage enters, you know, untapped and potentially use that Ritual of Soot. Something tells me they're going to be playing a lot of lower tier creatures. I could Thought Erasure or I could Mire Triton. I think it's actually better to Thought Erasure here because they're going to swing in with their Fencing Ace one way or the other, you know. Shadow Spear, permanent your opponent control lose. Well, I don't really use a whole lot of that anyways. Let's take the Aurelia, right? Because she can't get hit by, and I will discard that. Well, that does allow us to concoct. Yeah, that's fine. But Aurelia can't get hit by the Ritual of Soot, so we'll want to go ahead and get her out of the way. Although I suppose we could have connived her, right? She does only have 2 power. Unless they equip the Shadow Spear the same turn that they played her, but highly, highly unlikely, right? We may go ahead and Ritual of Soot here on our next turn. We can play at Mire Triton, gain some life potentially. That seems fun. Syr Konrad, ooh. That's a decent concoct target. But knowing that they play Aurelia now, again, I might want to save my Connive for when they draw into another one. Shadow Spear going onto the Fencing Ace there. Let's see. It only blocks 1 damage there, and it blocks 2 if I go here, so it's actually smarter to block the 1/1 than the 2/2. Again, we're probably just going to go Ritual of Soot here. And Cauldron's Gift means that we can save our Connive Concoct and use Cauldron's Gift instead to get back Syr Konrad. So we will go ahead and Ritual, get rid of everything. And then, yeah, we'll get back Syr Konrad with Cauldron's Gift, mill ourselves away a little bit more. True Fire Captain. Interesting. And an Atris. I think I still want the Syr Konrad back. 24 health. Them having life gain does make this a little bit more difficult, but thankfully our Syr Konrad comes back with an additional counter, which means he can block the True Fire Captain and not die. Unless they equip Shadow Spear, of course, in which case it'll be a little tradesy. Also, they have shock, so I suppose our Syr Konrad is destined to die here. But if we're trading and we know that our hand is a little bit stronger... Ooh, Outlaw's Merriment. That is a difficult thing for us to deal with for sure. Them gaining a creature every single turn. And they're not equipping Shadow Spear. That's very odd. I guess they're just planning on using the shock then. Well, that's fine. I'll do tradesy. I think it would have been wiser for them to use Shadow Spear. They would have gained life, right? Oh well. Their decision, not mine. So again, I can concoct and get Syr Konrad right back. Though I may want to save Connive for if they draw into, what's it called? Let's just get down a Devourer of Memory for, well, if they hit the right thing, Devourer of Memory just dies. Let's go with an Atris. See what we can draw out here. Potentially concocting back to Syr Konrad was the right play there, but we'll have to see. I'll assume they're also playing Haktos, right? Too bad this doesn't say power or toughness, 2 or less. That would be fantastic. Opponents always take quite a while when dealing with Atris, like deciding which cards to put face down and face up. Thought Erasure. Well, I don't need the Thought Erasure or the land, so I'll choose the one on the bottom. Discovery Dispersal. Well, that's good for us. That can get rid of an Outlaw's Merriment. Certainly not good for us, but we will more than likely take this trade here because we're getting low on health. I gotta say, our opponent's got a very nice deck. I don't know what this is, but this Boros something seems kind of fun. Now, granted, we're not playing a top tier deck, so their deck may not actually be that good, you know? Because I'm not playing top tier, which means they're not playing up against top tier. We want to do this at sorcery speed so it guarantees gets rid of the Outlaw's Merriment, right? But yeah, so I'm not playing top tier, so it's hard to say if their deck is top tier, or if it's good or decent or whatever. But at the very least, it's interesting. I like it, you know. I always enjoy playing against a deck that's non-normal, you know, non-meta. Now, granted, we're getting our asses kicked. It's in a fun manner, so that's all that really matters. And we won the first game anyways, so. Lava Cool. Well, that's not very nice. It's not nice at all. Disinformation Campaign. We can get rid of whatever card they're holding on to there. And still activate the Devourer of Memory? Sure. Sure. Let's make them discard. I don't know what they got in hand, but whatever it is, I don't want them to have it. Oh, and we actually drew into a Lotleth, which only deals 4 damage. All this talk about how you're going to deal so much damage with Lotleth, and it's going to be your game ender. Right? Alright, let's discard the top card of our library, Gorging Vulture. That actually would have been nice for gaining some health, but we can always bring it back if we choose to. Swiftblade Vindicator. Obviously, they're going to equip the Shadow Spear. Now, I can just take their Swiftblade with Connive, Concoct, but it does have double strike. Can't quite kill a Lotleth, but we can't even play a Lotleth, so maybe this is where I use my Connive, Concoct. They can just take the Shadow Spear off of it afterwards, though, so. I didn't really want to. I suppose we could also get back a Syr Konrad. Syr Konrad can block him out, but it does immediately die to it as well. Let's gain control. At the very least, if they don't have anything, if they don't have a creature to play, then we will be able to gain 4 life off of their Swiftblade because they won't have anything to equip the Shadow Spear to. Right? We gain a little bit of life there, that's good as well. I think ultimately this is the best decision. Now, obviously if they hit a creature of any kind, it's not. It's going to be kind of bad. Tajik, that's bad. There goes their Shadow Spear. Unless they don't realize. Unless they don't realize. Oh, they do. Okay, well, you know. To each their own. Now, they can't give Tajik first strike here, so we could just use Mire Triton to block against it, which means they shouldn't. Yeah, they're not going to swing in. Another Connive Concoct. You don't say. Lotleth deals 7 damage now when it comes in. Alright, well, let's concoct then. Let's concoct ourselves a plan. Dispersal. What's their highest? It'd be Tajik. I don't mind getting a Dispersal. I don't think I want that land because it enters tapped. I'm fine with this land. And discarding 1 still allows our Devourer to proc. So this is fine. And then we will get back... Could get back an Atris, which would draw some more cards. That's not bad. But I think I want to get back a Syr Konrad. This deals even more damage, and since we have the Lotleth in sight, it'd be ideal. Alright, so we're going to swing in with the Devourer. And I think we'll keep everything else back. I'll admit we've come back a little ways. Further than I would have expected. Bond of Discipline, gonna tap all of our creatures, so they will get in with that Tajik. We'll have to see if that was worth it, though. Maybe they should have saved that. Alright, so here's our Dispersal. Get out of here, Tajik. No one likes you. Alright, that's gonna proc Syr Konrad to deal 1 point of damage to him. Bringing out the heavy guns. And we'll swing in with everything, try and minimize this gap in health, right? Now, we do have lethal on next turn. Pharika with a Shadow Spear equipped. It's a 4/4. Oh, Shadow Spear is so good. And unfortunately, Lotleth doesn't finish him off. I guess I could Syr Konrad and go for the Devourer, but they're definitely going to swing in with Pharika, right? To gain the life. So I don't think we play Lotleth yet. I think we want that to be our surprise damage, right? So we can use Devourer. I'll use Disinformation. Ritual of Soot. Sure, I'll use Syr Konrad again. It could hit an extra thing for Lotleth. It didn't. It is what it is. We got Devourer up a little bit higher, so that's good. So we swing in with Devourer. We get him down to 6. We can kill him with Lotleth, but it's going to require them to not swing him with Pharika, so... You know. I'm a little bit on edge. I guess we could have just used the Syr Konrad to buff up the Devourer even further, and then use Syr Konrad to buff him up even further on the next turn, but we'll have to see if this was the right decision. Ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to this. Do they swing in? They don't. Oh, that's victory. That is a victory. Alright, so game 2 being picked up by our Devourer of Memory. Oh, so close to death. Yes, so far. No, I've just tooted my own horn a little bit because that was a nice game. That was a fun game. So let's get into one more. Ombre, gonna be our third foe for the day. And let's see if they'll be able to stand the might of our deck. This isn't a super great opener. And the opponent goes first. I'll keep it for fear of getting mana screwed on a mulligan. That's one of my biggest fears in life, for those of you who don't know. I'm glad actually that we drew out a second swamp. It puts our Murderous Rider online, which is nice. I think going for the Dimir Spybug here into the Thought Erasure is better than going for the Mire Triton. We'll have to see though. I always like getting a good gander at my opponents. Ooh, Underworld Dreams. We may trade out the Spybug here, because Underworld Dreams is going to be a slow tick on us, but it's a tick nonetheless, you know? Sure, this cuts down the effectiveness of our Thought Erasure and all that. Ooh, Grey Merchant's terrible. Another Underworld Dreams is terrible, but I think I have to get rid of the Grey Merchant, right? 2 Underworld Dreams on the field is terrible, but throw in a Grey Merchant and that's lethal. And there it is. And a Cauldron Familiar. What a deadly deck. What a deadly mono black devotion deck. Alright, so we're not going to use Murderous Rider. That's should be obvious. This guarantees gains this life. This potentially gains this life. We'll have to see if we can hit something with Gorging Vulture. No. Wow, that's bad. And unfortunately, since we are playing Dimir, it's very hard for us to actually hit enchantment stuff. So we do have the thing that makes them sacrifice an enchantment, which would be fantastic, I'm not gonna lie. So we're already down to 13 health. Maybe we'll gain... Ooh. Well... don't you hate to see that? There's no way for us to return that to our hand either. Grey Merchant. Yikes. Absolutely yikes. They should swing in with a Cauldron Familiar. Yeah. This forces me to block with Mire Triton. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we had a hard-fought battle, but I think we're going down. I don't think we have enough life gain to deal with this. This is, hell, we're taking 2 damage on the next turn. You can't kill the Grey Merchant. I think it's a GG. I think game 3 we just pick up to Mono Black Devotion, so it's unfortunate, but this is what happens when you play up against an actual tiered meta deck. Oh, Bolas the Citadel. That's game over, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all enjoyed the video. We did manage to go 2-1 with this Devourer of Memory. Now, I'm not going to say it's worth spending all your wild cards on, for sure. But if you are someone that enjoys the Dimir Surveil sort of decks, I think that that the Devourer of Memory fits right nice into the Surveil deck. So, thanks everybody for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like down below. And of course, if you're new here, consider subscribing. Again, it's free and you get an update whenever I go live or whenever I put up a new video. All that being said and out of the way, I'll see y'all either later tonight or tomorrow. Peace.